I bow to all the seekers of truth. The truth is what you know on your central nervous system. I see you all here, I see your faces, and I know you are here.
Ich
That's
sehe
the
sie
truth.
alle da.
I see the red color with my own eyes. I see the another color there with my own eyes. And I know on my central nervous system what is the truth. In the same way, you have to know truth on your central nervous system. It should not be some imaginary thing. It should not be some sort of a concept. It should not be any theories put forward. It cannot be some sort of a experience, as they call it. But it should be known through your central nervous system, and you should know all about it. If self-realization or yoga has to work out, it has to be as clear as sunshine. It should not be just something that will please your ego or pamper your superego. You cannot pay for it. It's not commercial, cannot be. It is very absurd that you expect it to be commercial. How much money do you pay to call it red when it is red? It is as absurd as that. And then you cannot put in any effort for it because it is spontaneous. It is a living process.
Yes.
How much will you pay to the Mother Earth for giving us these flowers
Gibt.
or for sprouting a seed? But I was told in England by the BBC people that Anglo-Saxon brain cannot understand anything without money. I don't know about German brains. Are they Anglo-Saxon also? But if you are stupid, and if you do not have a pure intelligence and a pure desire, then they can be very, very successful with you who want to befool you. There is also another side to it, that when people are completely ignorant about the truth, then also they can become slaves of sinister practices of some commercial people. This ignorance is expressed in every way of life, I find sometimes in the West. I mean, the people are very simple. Because anybody can start a manufacturing of some sort of a stupid thing, and everybody starts wearing it as a fashion. And then all that you have bought today becomes a waste tomorrow.
Lesen.
And some people find it absolutely exhausting to keep pace with this changing fashion every day. Now here I would not say it is ignorance. You know you are being exploited. You know that. But when the masses of people are doing the same thing, you don't know how to resist it. Like in London, we have many Indian ladies. They have given up wearing this. It's a sign of a married woman. It is auspicious to wear that for every woman, and at any cost, she would not give it up. And I asked them, why did you give up? And they said, everybody makes fun of us, they laugh at us, so we gave it up. So those who were sinister ones, I would say, because there are gurus and gurus and gurus. And the gurus who are sinister, who are called as kugurus, in our scriptures very clearly described, very clearly, took full advantage of this.
Solche Leute.
I would blame also people who would not allow you to read something else that was sensible from India. So many people only knew about Tantrism, which is the most dangerous thing.
ist.
And these sinister people somehow knew that so many seekers are born in the West. They came down here with all their arts and crafts. I told about them in 1973 very, very clearly to thousands of people. But once they have fallen into the trap, they are so adamant. They don't want to listen that they are seekers of truth. Why are they identified with falsehood? You have been seeking for ages, for many, many lives. Why not now understand that truth has to be known on your central nervous system? That is, you have to achieve your inner yoga because you deserve it. It is your right to have it. This is what you have been seeking. This is what is going to help us out of all our human problems,
Rauszukommen.
because it promises a complete transformation within. Sahaja Yoga is not a new thing as such. It's very traditional and very old, which was secretive, of course, for some time, for quite some time.
Geworden.
And whatever living has to be based on something fundamental. It cannot hang from somewhere as a new piece of a plastic flower. It must bear relationship to all the scriptures of the world, and it must integrate all of them. Anyone who says that my religion is the best or my cult is the best is a fanatic, no doubt. And it's a cult, whether it is a religion or anything, it's a cult only, it's absolutely a cult. For that, one has to become something more than a human being. That means you have to transcend above your mental conceptions about reality and about truth. First thing, you have to be honest about it. For example, we are supposing trying to find out a diamond. Are we going to accept any stone as diamond? We'll have to verify every bit of it. We are not here to find the stone, but to find the diamond. Now what they have told you about Sahaja Yoga here, whatever is written in this book, is the knowledge of the roots. The Western knowledge is the knowledge of the tree. And all those who talk of religion also have molded every religion into the tree form. But every religion has said you have to seek yourself. But those who believe in artificiality can just give a certificate. I am born again. I am a realized soul. I am an evolved soul. But it's no good, of no benefit. Now if somebody says there is Kundalini, and somebody says that there are chakras, and explains to you, you may like to hear it because it's some sort of a new knowledge, which is not new, maybe new to you. But the main thing is that whether it exists or not can be proved today. It has to be proved now. This is the age of proving everything. And you, the seekers, are on the stage who have to prove within themselves. It's not just what I'm saying that you are to believe me. It's not to believe in anything we certify you or anything we say that all right, you are all right. You have to feel it yourself. You have to know it yourself. You have to become a realizer. You cannot advise anyone about it. You cannot persuade anything about it. It is a happening that has to happen within you. The actualization has to take place. You have to become the spirit and you have to feel the power of the spirit within yourself. So just now you should accept all this as a hypothesis.
Annehmen.
But for this you must have an open mind of a scientist. But if you already have concepts, say about carbon, and if you say that no, it is not tetravalent, it has got two valencies. What will your teacher say? All right, you go out.
Anand.
So it has to be established as a proof. Now those who have established as a truth have been able to find out many things even scientifically. Like when they said, when I told them that carbon on one side look like Omkara, Om, and another side as a swastika. They said, how can that be? I said, you try. You see in the spectrography, you can see the carbon atom yourself. And a very big scientist from America who tried, and he was amazed to see. So when he saw from the right side, he saw the left side. When you see from the right, you will see to the left. So what he saw was, it was on the left side was the Omkar, Om.
Und wir
Very clear cut. And two scientists did that. Johan is from Belgium. One from Belgium, one from America. The another side, when they looked into, they were surprised, they saw a swastika like this.
und wir
So now one has to understand that this carbon, which is placed on this Mooladhara chakra, here below the Kundalini, has got on one side as the Om, another side is the swastika. So if you reflect it back, it seems that on the left hand side is the swastika and the right hand side is the Omkara. It's proved now. Now supposing we said that through our Sahaj Yoga system, your physical being is cured. You can be proved. Most of it can be. As a result of that, you will be amazed that Delhi University has accepted, the doctors, the dean, has accepted Sahaj Yoga as a course of Doctor of Medicine, which is the highest in medicine for a postgraduate doctor. Because group of doctors experimented with Sahaj Yoga and found out that it works. But India is different because they have the right knowledge of Kundalini and not the tantric knowledge. But even Cambridge University has accepted it for a PhD, a thesis. But some sensible people have to come forward. Some profound and deep people have to come forward and get their realization. And in Germany, they can prove it because they are very scientific people here. That Kundalini awakening is the only solution for our physical, mental and emotional problems. And there is no solution for spiritual problem but Kundalini awakening.
und
Now to be seen here very clearly that the Kundalini is above the Mooladhara chakra. We can prove it. Now, this Mooladhara chakra is the one that controls the sex. And this chakra, Mooladhara chakra, is below the Kundalini. So sex does not play any part in this ascent. Please try to understand that animals do sex. They should become spiritual much faster than us. It does not mean that you do not have sex activity, but the sex activity does not take you to God. On the contrary, when the Kundalini starts moving, the sex activity stops completely. You become like a child, we should say, very innocent. That is a fact, and I will tell you the truth. I will not just try to tell you something just to please you. When Freud started the nonsense of free sex, nobody challenged him. First of all, he was epileptic. He had cancer. And he was a funny man, had bad relations with his mother. Such a stupid character, accepted absolutely with great ado by people. because it was very pleasing, I think. Any guru who tells you such a thing, you must know he is just trying to please you, he must be commercial. As in the political side, they try to seek your votes. In the spiritual side, they have all their interest in your purse. Today also they asked me, you don't take any money?
Geld
I said, how much are you going to give me?
geben.
It is absurd. It's nonsense. You cannot pay for anything like that. But we are used to it. We used to pay for churches. We used to pay for temples. So now we are used to it. We cannot understand anything without money. Now Shri Krishna has very clearly said, 6,000 years back, that when human awareness grows downward, or it grows downward, adhogati, unless and until it is taken to urdhvagati, means to the higher ascent. Now in this thing you can see, as Krishna has said it, that the roots of your awareness are in the brain. So now how our adhogati, the downward movement, starts when we exert our human awareness. Why we are in such a confused state, suffering from terrible anxiety. Human awareness has moved, say, from Sahasrara to this chakra, Ajna. Actually, in the ascent, in Ajna chakra, this chakra, you become thoughtless. But when it comes down to Ajna, it moves on left and right, and what happens? You are thinking like mad. You are thinking of the future, you are thinking of the past, but at this chakra you stand at present.
Fahrt.
So you have lost the sense of present. On the right hand side, when you move on the Agya, you become aggressive. When you go to the left hand side, you become depressive. It's maddening.
Wahnsinnig.
If Agya is out, one can become schizophrenic, or could be an aggressive, violent madcap. But these gurus have also spoiled Agya. Let us see what Christ had to say for Agya Chakra. He has said, thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. Because this Agya Chakra is placed between the optic chiasma in the center of it, which controls the eyes. In the modern times, all our eyes are like this. There's no innocence in the eyes. It has either the greed or the lust. But the one who has the innocence in the eyes, even a glance is sufficient. Sufficient to give realization. Sufficient to cure. Sufficient to finish all the negativity.
Yes.
That's what Christ asked you to do. But what has happened to us? We are just the opposite of it. Then when this chakra comes down, I'm telling you in short, because it's quite a short time I have to tell you about these chakras. So I'm telling you, when you come down on the Vishuddhi chakra, the human attention goes on to both the sides, once onto the right and once onto the left. It's a terrible thing these days, Vishuddhi chakra of everyone, I tell you. This belongs to Shri Krishna. What did he say? That you have to become a witness here, witness of the whole thing. Instead of that, we become either on the right hand side an aggressive person in charge of everything. We shout and scream and say harsh words to others. We tell false things and try to capture the attention of people by our authoritative temperament. Then the left hand side people, or when it goes there, we feel guilty. The other day somebody said that Christ has asked us to be guilty. Never, never. He has not said you feel guilty. He said you repent. Means you see what wrong you have done and correct it, not to feel guilty all the time. Who are you to judge yourself? Let the divine judge.
Beurteilen.
You are the temple of God. Why do you feel guilty? You have to enter into the kingdom of God. Why do you feel guilty? For what? Once a lady told me she feels very guilty for the people who are dying in Cambodia. I said, what have you got to do with them? You are not doing any wrong to them. You have nothing to do with them. You cannot control them. Why are you sitting feeling guilty here nicely? I said, you have nothing else to think but to sit down how guilty you are. So she told me a very interesting thing. She said, I have nothing else to feel guilty, so now I'm feeling for Cambodia people. Like when they have to go to see the priest and confess, you see, they have to coin it, think it, what sin have I committed? Spiritual life is joy, not misery, not sufferings. As in Spain, the Spanish told me that they believe that only through suffering you can go to God. I told them, who asked you to do that? They said, our religion. Now do you know that they are not following Christ, they are following Paul. This horrid Paul, he was just a Jew who killed so many Christians. Suddenly he sees a cross and comes in the Bible nicely. And now in England, the Bishop of Canterbury says that Christ never had an immaculate conception, born as after an immaculate conception.
Ist.
These theologians, what do they know about God? Sitting down, making theories about God, organizing Him. This Paul must have been born as Augustine also, to bring all funny ideas. And people now abhor Christ. If you tell somebody, talk of Christ, they run away. Because of misinterpretation. Now, we have to realize that Christ died for our sins. He died at this cross. So when this Agya Chakra is awakened, all our sins, so-called karmas, which were suggested by Sri Krishna, are finished. It is said in the, I don't know if you have read Devi Mahatmya or not, it is said very clearly when the incarnation of Mahavishnu, which is Christ, will come, then the karma theory will be finished off. So this karma theory that my karmas must be bad, all that is over, only you have to awaken Christ here at the Agya Chakra, that's all. Now if you have this guilty business with you, please give it up immediately. First of all, you might get a bad neck, what you call the spondylitis could be, or slip disc, or could be a horrible neck. Or else you might get thrombosis or some sort of a thing, what you call angina. So not to feel guilty at all, and not to be miserable. Like in France they said, mother, don't say you are in joy, otherwise they will think you are ignorant. You must say you are miserable. And I cannot be serious for more than 2 minutes. Just put up a show, all right? It's just a play. So this Les Miserables of France are no good. Now, when you are going to the second, another chakra down below after Vishuddhi is the center heart here, which is ruled by the Jagadamba, is the mother of the universe. This is a very important chakra because when the human awareness passes over it, it goes again to the right and to the left. This is the one where the sternum bone is, which gives messages to the antibodies which were formed in it before you were 12 years of age. This goddess is also called in Sanskrit language as Brahmaramba. And her disciples or her messengers are those antibodies are called as Brahmaras. And that is what, once we spoil it, the goddess slips off and the antibodies do not act. So on the left hand side when you move, you develop a kind of a fearful attitude towards life. You become very anxious person. At the slightest alarm, your sternum starts moving fast, heart starts moving fast, especially for the women who are frightened or insecure like that, who lack the security of life or any other security in life, can develop cancer of the breast. This is the big problem, that we do not understand why suddenly we have started developing this cancer of the breast. When it moves on the right side, we try to offend others and frighten others by our intimidation. We challenge the mother.
Geben.
We against the mother's purity and the relationship of purity with her. Or we can say the sin against the mother. When we commit, we get diseases like AIDS. Because here you have tried to overcome a power that is controlling your antibodies. So your antibodies cannot fight. And with the slightest infection, you catch any diseases and you die. The sin against the mother is very serious thing. It causes, say from Muladhara chakra, it is connected because at Muladhara resides your innocence.
Schuld.
And when you challenge your innocence and overcome it, then you are in for so many physical troubles of which you are not aware. We can say all the muscular like myelitis and all those diseases which are incurable, all degenerating diseases can be caused by that. All the Parkinson's disease and all these diseases come from that. Even could be cancer. On the left hand side, when you move too much, you can get into cancer. For example, if you are looking at your being, it is like this is your spinal cord, the transverse section. And in the center that you see is your spinal cord. And in this are placed these chakras, the subtle chakras, the center of energies. Now, if you use them too much or disturb them too much, this dislocates, either starts going to the left or to the right. The deities sleep off, the controlling power goes off,
Weg.
and your connection with the main is lost. Now, when you go too much to the left, when you are vulnerable, first of all, when the connection is lost, you are vulnerable, and you go too much to the left, you get attacked by the collective subconscious. Now, the doctors say that you get attacked or triggered, as they call it, by protein 52, protein 58.
50.
Whatever name you may give it, but it is from the collective consciousness, the negative dead souls attack you, and they trigger the movement of the cancer, because they start overpowering other cells and capturing other cells, and there is no relationship with the coordinated growth of the body. So the malignancy, supposing grows out of this cell here, then it will overpower the nose, it will overpower everything, every function it will be overpowering. But in the early stages of cancer, you can raise the Kundalini and bring it to a normal state. So it is obvious that we have to keep to the central path. We have to lead a life of moderation, not to go to any extremes. We have to be very normal. No abnormalities are needed for your ascent to the divine. And if you are a seeker, you will get your realization in no time. Now we come to another center, that is as the Nabi center, what we call as a Manipur. This is a very important center because it is surrounded by another center which actually comes out of the same center and makes this round what we call as the void. It's not the same void as the Zen.
Void.
So the Nabi chakra is the one that gives you the balance. Like if you eat too much, you will get diarrhea. If you eat too little, you will not feel very strong. So, this Nabhi chakra is very important to give us a balance in everything. This is the one that relates to our valency. Like carbon is tetravalent, we have got 10 valencies. And these 10 valencies are in this area which we call as the void. And if you put an imbalance to these valencies by any chance, then you get into trouble. Now these 10 valencies within us are built in by great primordial masters who came on this earth 10 times. Say from Adinath we can start up to Muhammad Sahib, up to Sai Shirdinath. Socrates, Lao Tse, Moses, Abraham, all these are these incarnations of the primordial master. They came to give us this sustenance. The sustenance is the dharma, is the religion, an innate thing within you. And when you fall out of it, you have disorders of your stomach, you have disorders of your other visceras which are in the stomach. It can affect everywhere. Like supposing you think too much of the future. Then you go to the right side. You become futuristic. You are on the right side. Now when you are on the right side, your left side is neglected. If you are very austere also, the left side is neglected. Then your emotions become weak. And this Swadhisthana chakra which is here, which has to convert your fat cells for your brain, starts working very hard for that, and all other visceras are neglected. So you become a liver patient, you develop diabetes, you develop kidney trouble, you develop high blood pressure. You become very aggressive and people think you are very successful. And your heart dries out and you suddenly die just like that with a heart attack. So this kind of a movement to the right, in the same way on the left hand side if you move, there are other problems which crop up. The gurus can give you left side problems very much. They can embed in you the seed of cancer, and they can give you also the problems of lunacy and epilepsy. Like they tell you a mantra, you go on like mad saying mantra, 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 mantra. And you are not connected with the mains. Like I go on telephoning without any connection. And the telephone gets spoiled. So this mad mantra going on with a ring like that, round, 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 or somebody saying some stupid mantras that are given to you by some guru for taking some money is all nonsense. So what is a mantra? Is when the Kundalini starts rising and you see the obstruction of the Kundalini, then you say a mantra who is a realized soul, and that chakra opens up because the deities know you. You are connected with the deity. There is no general rule about mantras, like there is no general rule about medicines. Saying these mantras together like this is like taking all the medicines together from the medicine box. It is very indiscreet. But after realization, you know what is to be done. After realization, you know what asanas are needed for your particular body, for your individual being. For example, a person who is a right-sided should never do backward movements in an asana. But such a big hodgepodge of nonsense has come to the West that I really don't know how to tell you that this is all mud. But this is the problem, that you are the lotuses which have to come out of this mud. A lotus in Sanskrit language is called as Pankajaha, Panke Ruha, means the one who is born out of the mud. That may be reason this kind of confusion had to come. But what a confusion, I tell you. It's impossible to bring sense to people who are standing on their heads. Everything is upside down. So now you have to understand the last and the most important chakra is that we call as Muladhara. Now in the triangular bone, which is sacrum, which is a sacred bone, that means Greek knew about it. It was a sacred bone, resides the Kundalini. Kundala means coils of a spiral, and Kundalini is the spiral of energy which is representing the Shakti, the Holy Ghost within you. Tomorrow I will explain to you about all the energies, but today just to tell you about it, that this is the energy which is the energy within us of pure desire. But tomorrow I'll explain to you more. Now the last but not the least is the Muladhara. Muladhara chakra is representing our inner sense. And deity sitting on this is called as Shri Ganesha, who represents a eternal childhood, because it has a head of an elephant. Elephant is the wisest animal, and also it's an animal's head, so it never develops ego. It is innocent like an animal.
Es ist
Animal's
unschuldig.
head. Now to give a charitable understanding to the Tantrikas, I would say the early Tantrikas who tried to see Kundalini in the sex must have seen the trunk of Sri Ganesha. And that is why they must have said that by exciting sex you can ascend. If you try any one of such tricks, what happens? Your sympathetic system gets excited.
Aufgeregt wird.
That is the two nadis on the sides, Ida and Pingala. And the central nadi, which is for your ascent, is the Sushumna, gets into constriction completely like this.
Geengt.
When it gets completely constricted, it can develop all kinds of troubles to a person. So it is rather difficult to give realization to a person who has gone through this kind of Freudian theory. But one can try. So far, only 3 persons in the whole world of this kind have achieved good results. You should not be angry with me because I am helpless. I try. I can try. But if you have disturbed your Sri Ganesha to that extent, then it is rather difficult. On the right hand side, if you are too dry a person and all the time futuristic, you develop problems of prostate, and also you develop problems of constipation and all those things, of gases, this, that. And on the left hand side, you develop the problems of AIDS and things that have to deal with your private parts. When we say it is private parts, it has to be private. It cannot be public. We must respect our privacy. We have to have self-respect about it. If you are people of character, we should not just accept somebody because that person is trying to say something or please us. We should have our individuality. Instead of that, we are thrown into fashions, thrown into all kind of a mass hypnosis.
Es ist sehr gefährlich.
Like now in England, they have started a funny thing called punks. I don't know if you have seen them or not, but the English are very proud of it. Once I went to an exhibition in Rome, and I went to see the British Pavilion, and the government had sent only the punks there to sell punk things. And it's very dangerous to color your hair like that. One may become blind. So many of them who have come to us have become blind. They can't see. And I asked them, I said, what is this? Why do you do like that? They said, what's wrong? But what's right?
Right.
I can't understand these people, the way they are going mad about themselves and destroying. Now you have seen when your human awareness is growing, where are you going? To destruction, to the bottomless pit of hell. At every step, we are coming down and down and down. But we have to ascend. It's not difficult at all. Sahaj also means very easy. And I hope Germany will one day get to it and save the whole world. May God bless you. Now, we do allow people to ask questions. But there are some stupid people who come from some gurus or some organizations, like one lady came with a Bible to hit me. I asked her for questions, she came with a Bible to hit me. I didn't know what to do. I just started laughing and laughing, and she got frightened of my laughter. She ran away. So, as I see so many seekers before you, I would request you must write down your questions and give it to me, and I'll definitely answer them tomorrow. Without realization, you won't understand what I have been saying. No use arguing about it. Better have your realization, and then you will not argue at all. Is it all right? Or somebody has a Bible to hit me. When the missionaries came to India, they had Bible in one hand and a pistol in another. But here I find a lady, the Bible used as a gun. But one thing one must know, that so far we have not found it, so let us find.